Alright, welcome back to another Play and Explain. So far, the session's going good. I recorded for like 10 minutes, my brother came in my room and started talking to me, so I ended the video. But we held with queens here twice, which is nice. Here versus a 3x from this guy who probably is opening tight, even though he's a recreational, I'm just gonna fold. I think that's a big, I think I'm trying to be more calling if that's the right word, just aware of, I guess. Is, yeah, earlier opened 2x, I mean 3x, now he opens 2x, so he's probably weak. That's not exactly what I was talking about, but that's something you can pick up on. I'm gonna write a note for this fish. Tells. It's just under defending versus 3x opens and 2.5x opens from earlier positions. This 1/3 with range seems fine. I'll double check because I'm fine with it. We double block queen 10 and ace queen suited. Spot's probably overfolded. People don't usually call a non-queen there, so if I tripled this one off on a brick run out. It's my girlfriend's dog's name. Gonna fold the queen. Ah, we could even consider that. Calling that. Sorry about the drinking if that's obnoxious. 8-7. I'm gonna open versus this player, he is tighter. I'm actually like, man, every video I say I need to get my pre better, and I'm planning on just doing like an hour pre-flop review. Just to like, I think I'm already better than most people in the pool, but there's some spots I'm just not 100% sure about. Like this hand is, I think 8-7's most of the time opening, but it's a mix. And I'm gonna play a third here versus this guy. The 8-7's nice, double good suit's good. When just not having a club is nice. I mean, he has more jack X than us, so we're definitely gonna underbluff this spot. Not having heart's really bad. Just gonna check. Also, when you have the lower cards here, it makes it more likely that he doesn't have a 5 in his continuing range. I don't know. Technically not really, but it just feels like that. Sometimes these like rigs will just call 7-5 off there and stuff in the big. Like obviously he's not gonna call queen 5 off. Technically you should only have suited versions of all these hands. Yeah. We don't block any of the jack X. He's gonna have a lot of offsuit jack X, and not having heart cards doesn't really block that. But yeah. Video was going good. My brother came in my room. Love him, but on a 1 we're just gonna call, especially versus this guy. We have tagged calling station. We're still 1/3, I guess we'll continue. Not the turn I was looking for. M-tag station, but like if he doesn't have anything, doesn't he just fold? Alright, I think he would have called us. I feel good about not bluffing. I'm gonna fold now because it took so long. I'm gonna tell this guy I'm not feeling HU. I beat him earlier. I finally actually beat someone heads up. I shouldn't do this. I don't think he has bluffs really, but oh, I lied. Hope we get a lot of interesting spots in these videos. I'll try and... Wow. So I flop top set and the fish just leads half one into me. Never raising here. Obviously some of his straights get there now that he could have been bluffing with. When he bets like this small, I don't expect him to have too much shit. Oh, such a shit run on it. If he had a set, I'm sad. Oh, we probably could have got a stack there. Just when you top set, not much you can do. The run out was also shit. On a lot of rivers, I would have gone way bigger. It's actually downsized turn. When they downsize the turn there, I put him on a hand weaker than what we end up having. Just taking notes. I'm trying to get a little bit better. Recently on my downswing, I've been just a range check here. Just taking more notes of certain things that I can just exploit, because a lot of these players are not very balanced. So if you take notes of certain tendencies they have, you can really range them very accurately on later streets. And now here, exploitatively, I don't mind just betting huge, because it is a range check on the flop. Does this guy know that? We block his... I think we just check here with this hand. That's just better as a check. It's probably better to be super polar here. Just better on the 10, better on the draw. So we're going to have no shortage of hands that at least have a gutter. This hand seems too weak. And we also have a lot of showdown. There's like no equity, but a lot of showdown. Part of me wants to call because we're going to get your price, but this guy is very nitty. I guess we'll call with the price. Nice. Just because he's a nit doesn't mean he's not clicking half pot on the river with his air, and he has so much air in this line. My hand's a snap in theory, right? Like any pair here can go so much bigger. Oof. When he's this tight, it's kind of weird. Like there's like a bell curve where the pocket pairs get a little better because you get paid more when you hit your hand. But naturally the value of my position goes down when he's just always his aces, right? So I'm gonna muck. I'm trying to be a little more disciplined in spots like this. Yeah. Ace-7 here versus 2.4 is close. 29 rolled. I'll call, even though I don't mind the fold. Actually might be a better as a fold. I'm gonna flat here with the QJ. I tank this long. I think when he goes to this house, I don't know what this is. Probably. Oh yeah, it's this like thingy. This is a fold by me. Sorry, I'm a little out of it. When he checks back on this board and this comes off, I think we want a queen or a jack to bet probably more often. Actually, this is a pretty fine hand to bet, but not having a spade is kind of. Here, I think we can consider check raising this hand. I don't think we're solo playing really any calls here. My hand isn't really accurately ranged though, kind of, but we're like dominated more often. But it is really like unexpected. Never good here, I think. Yeah. Exploitatively, I don't mind maybe bluffing the spot. Yeah, I wouldn't mind to see the bluff actually. We block a lot of folding range with the ace. But I think a lot of his ace highs would fund the range, but it's mainly going to be like low pocket pairs like this. Here, I think this is close to a pure squeeze. I think we can size up here. And 5-3 is a mix, but don't feel like playing heads up right now. I'll sit our next hand so I don't button him. Wait, am I buttoning him? Okay, he set up. Perfect. Alright. This one, Trojan's not working on, which is kind of frustrating. Queen 10 is a mix. I guess I'll do it. just reading with these. Grinding for leaderboard today. I'm here with no match suits. I think it's actually okay to bet my hand. I think we could call by a lot worse here. Opponent's supposed to continue a lot of ace high, especially with the heart. And I don't think I'm getting raised too often as a bluff, like a low equity bluff, so I don't mind it. Maybe reopening there. It's kind of somewhat meh, actually, because he's probably gonna raise. He has a lot of suited ace X. He'll probably bluff me off of. My hand probably, in theory, is a call versus a raise, actually. In practice versus this guy, I'd probably just muck. Trying to be way more exploitable on my downswing now. This hand I like to raise close to peer, so we'll just do it. I'm mainly realizing that these regs are just nowhere near balanced. And yeah, versus fish obviously was exploiting a lot before, but I'm not really scared to just do what I think's correct. Like here he just goes too big, I think. Wait, what is he supposed to go? I mean, in theory my hand's a call. But he just has no bluffs, so like an 8's number, I'm gonna fold. In theory, I'm not supposed to 3-bet fold that hand, I think, but I think he went a little too big. Interesting, an ace and a king on the board, though. King 9 off on a 72. I'm gonna do it. Might be a little too much, but yeah. People under 4-bet this spot, so I'm okay with attacking a little aggressively. And not to mention, people usually overfold post in that spot too. If the guy hits a fucking set, he might call me down, but besides that, these guys are way too tight. You can make a lot of money by being very aggressive. And the second they adjust, they usually over adjust, and then you just knit it the fuck up. And get paid. Because a lot of people don't give you respect. They don't really think like, oh, he's slightly over bluffing here or under bluffing here. They usually lean super hard one way. Like I have a friend who basically just gets paid every time now by some of these regs, and they think he's bad, but they never fold. They make the most egregious calls versus him. Here, this is a mix. Versus this player, I prefer just calling this hand, but it's close. Obviously a great board for me. He will have 10s and 9s here, really high frequency. We obviously have him pure. I don't think we really ever 4-bet them. Like obviously he had a frequency, but I don't think I would. He bets half pot. I'll call here. Can do both. If he checks, I'll probably check. Oh, this is such a weird spot. Here, I guess there's a fishful bet. We'll go with the number. I feel like we don't have to bluff this hand. That's the issue. But like, what are our bluffs? Ugh. I hate it. Okay, we won. I hate it though. I think we should have shoved. The only reason I don't shove, it depends on the type of player. The only reason I don't shove, I'm gonna check here. The only reason I don't shove is because this guy has heroed some hands that are pure folds versus me before. I think he might be overcalling the spot somehow. I mean, probably should just rip there. So yeah, I don't know. This hand we'll consider 3-betting. Let's choose a number. 83, sure. Let's just fucking go with it again. The suited Queen X. The King X starts to fall off around the cutoff. It's mainly for CP. And it becomes more Queen X. Queen 6 is a really good candidate. It might be Queen 5, might be a little better, but I'm fine with it. As long as you're hitting the frequency kind of right and just have the rough idea, you're doing better than 90% of pool. And also learn what the strong hands are that you don't 3-bet. Because a lot of people end up with way too weak calling ranges. So my main notes for the big blind would be pay attention to how often your opponents are opening, because a lot of these hands are very, very close. Like even if you're like, oh, I want to see a flop, like queen and off here would be fold versus EP. And especially if they open more than 2x from EP. That's a big thing. The reason why you might look at a chart and you actually call a decent amount of hands from EP is because in those charts, like for example on Wizard, they're opening 2x. And yeah, so when you're opening 2x, you don't have to win that often. When they open 2.5, you have to win like 50% more often than if they open 2x.
Quick, how do I look?
You look fucking so handsome, dude. Yeah, everyone in my YouTube video would agree.
Thank you everyone watching that video.
Yeah. Let me know in the comments below if my brother looks fucking great right now.
Thank you everyone in the comments. If you say nice things.
Dude, they would. You sound hot as fuck. Alright, I'm going to open this on 100 here. I think we're gonna bet big. This guy's kind of a station, and big bet makes more sense here. He will have kings though, so I'm kind of like a little worried. Here, I'm just not gonna bother calling. I told myself I'm just gonna stop calling this fucking bullshit hands. Especially versus a nittier player. Like deuces isn't that appealing to ever turn into a bluff, and the main edge we have versus the guy is bluffing our hand. I mean, we get to realize a lot with deuces, which is like also the downside, is you have to fold, but if he's not bluffing, then you get to realize. And that's good equity, so I could see the argument for calling more, but... I mean, how often? We like Jack 10 suited, we like Queen 9. He started betting on a 10, right? Oh, if I raise here, how the fuck this... I mean, I have such a pure call, but this guy's such a nit, but I think I just have a pure call. Oh, he's so nitty though. Obviously my hand's a snap, right? He starts betting on a 10, we have a 10, which is like super important, so he doesn't really have pocket 10s. Oh, whatever. I'll just fucking station. Okay, yeah. He has a 10. Probably should just stay disciplined and fold. Here you actually 3-bet smaller because you want to squeeze more often, so then you actually lower the size. It's kind of counterintuitive. People think sometimes always when you squeeze, you're going bigger, but here you don't have to actually go bigger because you have position on the small blind. Not to mention small blind's range should be very capped. There's not much incentive for him to flat out of position versus a button open. So when he does, you don't have to go too big. Like he's never gonna like queens and jacks or ace king like he could have in theory. Not that population would ever have those hands usually, outside of maybe me because I'm weird. Just gonna go 1/3 here. I don't mind if you wanted to play a bigger bet here. But... This guy just seems like such a spaz. Like obviously our hand's a great double. Yeah. He's not really supposed to have a flush when we're the king, right? Like, how does he have a flush? I'm just gonna bet 40. I think he calls an ace. If he shoves, do I just side call? I don't know. Maybe I punted there. My read was a lot of his ace-x was going to be 2-pair. All-in's also okay, but all-in's probably too much. I think even then he might think my line makes no sense and flick him with ace-8. I don't know. And if he has 1 pair, he's probably not calling. I think his calling range is pretty static there. Maybe like he has so much low suited ace-x, then I should be considering a smaller sizing, but I don't know. I don't mind it. It looks kind of weird. Because you have to keep in mind, if I go 20 bigs there versus 40, he has to call twice as often to 20. Because it's a recreational fuck being balanced. I'm just going off like raw, like what's more profitable. Here we can bet a lot. I don't think he's flatting 9s. I think he shouldn't have a flatting range. Like these guys are just punting. I played 2.3 from the cutoff too. Like why are you flatting? There's just no way it's profitable to put in 2.3 bigs and not be able to win the pot immediately versus a button open. I don't know. I don't see how. There has to be a punter in the big blind. In theory, it's a thing, but like, because there are some hands that are close, and then they're generally hands that don't want to get 4-bet but are way ahead of my opening range. Like for example, you could flat ace queen off a lot and stuff. But with a rake environment, playing multiple tables, it's like why are like there's no way you've studied. And also they're never balanced. It's usually pocket pairs, right? It's not profitable to flat like threes there. Unless I'm a spaz, but I'm not. So, and it's also like you're a known nit. So I don't know. Gonna fold the jacket. Yeah, I'm trying to get third on the leaderboard today. So gonna probably be grinding a lot of these 200 now. There is another table open. We'll play that. So now we got 6. How long have I been recording? 20 minutes already. Wow. Gonna review all these hands in the description. Just trying to post. I'm so hard on myself that this is a good or a bad video. I've been tilting a lot of my videos. I've been recording sessions after having a bad morning. And I've been like kind of steaming when I get stacked. I haven't got stacked yet in this video, but I don't know. Here I'm not gonna 3-bet because the SBR, or his stack isn't that, he's not that deep. I don't know why I said it's so fucking weird. Versus UTG open, we can 4-bet this hand. I don't ever like flatting, really. I don't mind the 4-bet. I saw 72 on this table, so I'm going with that. You want to min-click from this depth. It's not really a thing actually too often. I was leaning more fold, and then I decided to 4-bet. I think half pot makes sense here. You can also check back, but I like half pot. Maybe check back. He has 10s, so we never have it. And this is just, in theory, I might call sometimes. In practice, I'm just going to fold. Yeah, I think without ace suit, we can probably check more often. We're just going to get shoved on too often when we don't have the ace suit. Where's the recreational? I'm just going to bet 12 bigs here. Is he going to call me with ace high? Like, no way, right? Ugh, I feel gross about this one. I wish I folded pre. A lot of your 4-bet bluffs there, I think when EP out of position, if I'm not mistaken, are going to be a lot of hands that also don't mind calling. Usually you don't have too much trash. And when they start to go 9 bigs, I imagine hands like ace queen off that are still just like really bad calls. Because they have no, like, they don't flop that well, right? And they have a lot of reverse implied odds compared to a hand, like a suited hand. Are going to become better 4-bets. Like ace jack suited now is just much rather just call for 7 bigs, right? When I mean, to be fair, he's only supposed to go 10, so it doesn't change the range too much. Nonetheless, I rolled a 72. I think it's fine. I don't know how I feel about my flop c-bet for half. Because, actually, no. I think we should size down. I think it depends. If we're playing a checking range, it's okay to bet half often. Just opponent's gonna basically not play any calls there when you go half pot, right? Like he just is more pricing to shove everything. Like what does he want to flat, right? Anymore. So if I'm going half pot folding, I don't think ace queen's a good play to do that. I wouldn't mind a small bet fold because yeah, small bet puts more pressure on his hands that can snap fold the half pot. So yeah, regret the play. Nonetheless, I think these players are tighter in these spots, so. But yeah, if I had the ace of clubs, I wouldn't mind it. If I had the ace of clubs, I'd probably have to call off though. Actually, maybe I would fold still because I just doubt it's bluffed enough, but yeah. 89, we'll find the 3-bet. I'll go to 7.5 versus 2.2. Gonna call a 4-bet here unless he picks a dumb size. Like up 20, 21, 22 is okay, and we'll call that. Anything more than that, we'll just fold because fuck that. I don't need 7s in my calling range anymore. I'm gonna go to like 4 here. My hand flops like shit. I could just shove and hope he calls me. But yeah, we'll go to 4. I don't really care if he folds a hand that doesn't have an ace or a king in it, to be honest. And I think going 4 bigs, it's not going to cost a recreation to fold a hand that has an ace and a king in it. Like if he folds like 10-9, it's like I'd rather him fold that actually than call. And just take the big blind. Because it's really hard to see a world where I get a stack. So I'd rather just pick up the equity. 9-7 here with the fish. 2x, 2 like weaker players. Don't mind the call. In theory, it's not a call. But we're gonna hit a full house and stack them with skill. Yeah, 13's fine here. We're not that deep. We'll just play 100 big blind ranges. Gonna flat here versus opponent should range check here. You shouldn't have 7s or 6s ever, and we have them like pretty high frequency. Big bet. I think I'm just gonna fold as an exploit. In theory, my hand might call. I think in practice, this big bet is way too strong. He doesn't know enough shit in it. Does this guy just have pocket 8s? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Wow, have pocket 8s one time. Jack 10 gets there. Oh my god, what's he have? Maybe we could have led small. But I don't know. Would be weird. Here, check, 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 check. He bets half pot on the river. If we go all in, he never calls, I think, but I panicked and called. It's a fine call. But I almost timed out. Oh, I could lead. He's supposed to check this board a lot, I imagine. I'm gonna go for... Do I check raise? I'll check raise again. On a 2, this deep, we're gonna call these 4. Could consider forwarding it, but it's not pure. This is such a weird play by him. To reopen 2 cents. I'm gonna call. Okay, yeah, we're so close to raising. And here I'm gonna fold. I should have raised. But my line didn't make much sense. And I always just get worried I'm gonna call when my line doesn't make so much sense. Now I'm playing heads up. Yeah, I would have liked the raise. It's so hard to have bluffs there in that spot. It's actually not though. You take any pocket pair with a club, right? Now, but pocket pairs would really call that size, right? Like any made hand. This is like the best bluff. Yeah, I regret it. It's like the only bluff. And we can actually have some traps. It's not that hard to roll low with hearts or with clubs. Our opponent is nitty, so if we get 3-bet, the odds that he's calling a 4 is pretty high compared to normal heads up. Holy fuck. I guess we just bet small and hope he has a 9. Like, what's the point of checking? He turned to draw. I'm just gonna bet, because my opponent's a nit, and when he's a nit, he doesn't have that many calls. I know it looks kind of stupid. I mean, maybe he had a jack and we punted EV. Maybe he floated jack 10. That is a possibility. Should 3-bet on this number, I just don't want to versus player. When he's a nit, obviously in theory we want to check this hand probably, but... Damn, if he had 9s though, somehow. We would have hit BBJ. He didn't raise this on the flop, though. Maybe he always raises that. I can't know. He probably has a 10 a lot here. I don't think he bluffs river too often. He like plays like 15 tables at a time, right? So like, there's so many bluffs in theory, but I'm gonna call here. Yeah, could have blocked to get called by that, but whatever. Here, I think we want to fold sometimes. In position, all flat. Wouldn't mind the fold though. Here you can actually play a lot of range, right? Because you have more fours than him, so it's not like he can just like completely put you in some uncomfortable ass spots. But we'll check. I wish I 3-bet here. Wish I 3-bet here, but I was running out of time. Gonna fold here. Big better check here from my opponent here. Gonna raise this guy as well. I don't know about how I'm playing. Kind of like timed out a lot of pre-flop hands. Here we're gonna check. This is a bad card for us. He calls a bunch of ace-x, and we don't raise basically any. So we're polarized to trips or nothing. So it's just huge over better check, and nines is just not going to go in that category. On the river here, I don't mind the block, because I think he has a lot of 6x. He has some 8-7 shit that we can get value from. And then we have like traps with 4s, and then it's pretty easy to find like enough bluffs. I don't know how I feel about this call. In theory, it's a pure call, obviously. In practice, it might just be losing. It's hard to know someone's heads up range. Like obviously he's a nit and hold him. Big better check for my opponent here. If we bet small, I will still continue. And if he checks, I might just like triple it down his throat because I think he's very, very tight. But he kind of like calling station sometimes. But with 2 live cards, the fact that he's thinking, I don't like it. Nice. Get the fold. It's just a scary board for a tighter player. Gonna quit the heads up now though. I don't feel like playing it on video, and I don't like revealing how I play heads up as well. Because if people watch it, they could see that some spots I probably do overbluff a little. And some spots I'm a little nittier than I should be, and I just take advantage of the fact that people overcall them. They're bluff catchers. Like certain boards where you have to call ace high, some regs will just snap every ace high. Because they can't differentiate like which ones to call with. Here, I'm just gonna overbet. I don't know. This video is pretty meh, but I'll try and review a bunch of hands. I just want to get a video out. I keep saying I'll post more consistently. It's not for a lack of trying, just the videos have been... This is off his stack def, I don't mind folding. Jack 4 can find a 3-bet a good amount. If I believe on a 58, I'll just do it. Because I like over 3-betting the spot. So I think it's under-defended properly. Lack of 4-betting, mainly. And post. A lot of misplaced. I'm trying to think if this hand... I'm definitely reviewing this one. What my hand wants to do. I'm not going to look at the number because it's just... Like, half pot's pretty decently mergy, right? Like, you fold out the under pocket pairs that he's probably supposed to fold a good amount. Versus recreational sizing down this, like this. I'll call 6-4 suited, fuck it, why not? Deeper, he's gonna make mistakes if we hit a hand. He's probably tighter than average. Oh, he's not. But... I'll check. Wow. Versus the big bet, I guess we'll call 1 here. We block bluffs with the jack. Gonna bet now. He checks, we're gonna check. Oh, I really wanted a better river than this. So we beat ace jack. We beat ace king. We beat... That's it. He 3-bets a lot though, so it's not like he's that tight. We beat like ace 8, ace 5. What is he value betting on the river? The line isn't like super believable, but I think I'm just gonna fold because I made a deviation pre. And and we have better hands to call with. So for that reason, we'll fold, and we also block bluffs. Like you might have like a hand like 6-5, 6-8. Oh, 6-8's a straight. I just like it feels like it's so easy for him to be over bluffing, and I don't know how many value hands he has, but I will still fold. You could be trapping. I don't know. It's probably a call, but because of the deviation pre, I would much rather just have a hand. The 9, a 7, and 8. Maybe it's Jack 8 even, right? Yeah, an 8 he has some bluffs, right? But we just have so many good hands there. Gonna fold here. I don't know why I'm tanking for so long. Here it's big better check. Actually, we both have 5-6 suited. It's not like he doesn't have a straight we don't have. It's not big better check though, I think. But we'll check. I'm gonna call here. If opponent bets again, I'm just gonna fold. I don't think he has any bluffs. Even though we have like the nuts. Just he doesn't bluff enough. It's like I always say that, and then like this comes up, and I'm just like, man, am I really gonna fucking fold top pair after check check? But it feels like he just has like he's so uncapped. He has so many natural bluffs, but I'm gonna fold. I told myself that this guy's a fucking nit. I'm not paying him, and I'm gonna listen to my read. My hand's a pure call. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you can't fold an 8 there. You block way too much 2 pair. You don't have that many good hands in the check check line. He could be exploiting you by doing that. I don't think he is though. Like this guy's had some like mind-numbing checkbacks versus me. Just gonna big bet here. I don't know where did my fucking hand go. Like I'm okay. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm okay with overfolding versus this player. Like I don't care because he's gonna have to show me enough bluffs for me to start adjusting how we play. Like in theory, if he wants to adjust for one hand and collect the fact that he's a nit all the time and that he gets overfolds, then sure, you can go do that. But until his consistent strategy is bluffing more often, then I'm not going to adjust. In here, I'm still 4-betting my hand though. Because I think the spot just makes too much money. How long have I been recording? 37 minutes? Okay, I record like 8 more minutes. Not the best video, but hopefully I said enough things that could be warranted to be gonna fold this. Might have post-flop edge, but I don't think queen 8 to defend. First 2.5 from the button. Pretty sure queen 9 mixes, if I'm not mistaken. People drastically over defend their big. I realized I was too. A6 suited. I think you can actually find like a 4-bet with this hand. I don't think quite from these positions, but yeah. Because he might find like all the suited A6. The worst one's A6, so you can block less of his folds. Oof. See what opponent has. I'm curious. I want stacks to go in to see what he's squeezing. Looks like a Kong. We'll big bet here. I rolled a 15. Just felt like it. Sometimes I don't play off the number. Half pot makes sense here. You want to bet all your overpairs under a king still. You shouldn't have too much king X. On the river, do we give up? It's kind of probably a give up with the diamond. This guy's also a little stationy. I'm just going to check and lose to an 8. There's just so many bluffs in this line. I'll just bet when I have it and get called by 100% of his 8x. I don't think it's worth to bluff there if he never folds an 8. Like ever. Obviously if he's folding an 8 every time, then I'd be like killing him. But yeah. I didn't pay too much down here. I could have probably found a value bet. Maybe I'm starting to play bad to end the session, but These are both 3 bets. I actually think King Queen might mix, but I'm just gonna snap overfold the 4 bets. He's not finding enough. So obviously if you're 4 bet folding this hand, it's kind of a disaster. But that being said, I don't think it's happening unless he has ace king or some shit, so who cares if I 4 bet fold it. You might not even 4 bet ace king. So John just calls. King Queen gets there. We're in the big in this hand, right? So we have the most 4x by everyone. Block King Queen of diamonds. We're in the big, right? Am I tripping? Maybe clubs are better than diamonds here. We do block a lot of folds. Yeah. Opponent probably has a 4. Yeah. Fuck that. He's opening 5 for off. Oh, were we UTG? Wait, what happened? Wow, we were MP? Really? We opened Queen 5 suited MP? And opponent flatted 5-4 off. Jesus Christ. This guy is so bad. He must have misclicked. I don't like bluffing this spot because my opponent just calls too much. But I decided to bluff it with having a queen. Probably a mistake. To be fair, I lost track of the action pre, which is just not a good reason. So yeah, I make some mistakes like that while recording. I'm talking too much in depth about one hand. It's requiring more energy to on a 27. I still think this is pure. Anyway, gonna be I think I'll end my session. Games aren't like insanely good right now. And not to mention I could use a break. I think I had a winning session. It might be break even, but I had a winning morning. It was better until I get called. This guy just never folds versus me. I'm just gonna start never bluffing him. Here I think in theory my hand's a pure call. 16. I'll call still because I don't know how much tighter he is pre. This is gonna come down to exactly how my opponent plays. I will not be getting stacked here unless I beat value. He checks. Don't think he has too many check raises. Like if he finds a club hand with a lot of equity, I don't mind it, but I'm gonna bet a third. Here's not a pure open, but whatever, we'll do it last hand, why not? Wow. There's a lot of bluffs here. We're gonna bet big. Obviously my opponent now, the only hand I'm kind of scared of is pocket tens. Maybe like ace 9, like the one combo, but yeah. Gonna find the big bet here. There's a lot of bluffs. There's like so many bluffs. If he rips, I'm kind of like, ugh, he's that tight, but hopefully he just rips jacks and he's trying to one out. Interesting hand. I'll review this one. So yeah, less perfect theory. Yeah, it was a winning session. Nice. Less perfect theory in this video, but more exploits. It's just gonna be more in my playstyle right now. I've been downswinging for the last little bit, so I'm just trying to give these players less credit mainly. If I start to see a lot more solid plays from my opponents, I'll just deviate back to playing a little more standard. But as for now, if I'm playing versus some guy who's just over bluffing, under bluffing, I'm just not gonna bother playing proper. If he's over calling, I should not. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching, and